Now, I've gotten a preliminary presentation on that, and it's 33 PowerPoint slides in excruciating detail. Let me tell you that I will be reworking that.
You're such a nerd.
I didn't do it. I said I received.
You got excited about the PowerPoint.
I said I received. Well, I can appreciate.
It's like she knows what I'm talking about.
I can appreciate some good work. Look, there was a lot of effort put into this PowerPoint in terms of trying to capture it, and they captured every living detail of the survey. I'd like to bring a much shorter version of that.
I would like you to bring a much shorter too. But
So
I
we
would
will do
also
that.
be interested in
Right, we will do
something
that
like
in July, and date to be determined. But that's the plan, and that's kind of how I outlined it in the memo, the letter that I sent out to you. We'll have a dialogue in July about the survey. And really, I hope that that will be a very, number one, enlightening
Yes.
to the congregation, and number two, therapeutic in terms of us continuing to move forward.
What are you doing in, well, the narratives that went in? What are you doing with those? How are you encapsulating those within your PowerPoint 33 slides?
Oh, I couldn't possibly.
That's what I was thinking. So what are they, how are they being dealt with?
How is...
Well,
Well, the narrative, yeah, the narratives are actually going to... Oh, you mean the comments that were
Yeah.
made?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes those questions were...
Yeah. Again, I have to look at it, Marna, and see, but I agree with you. I read every single comment that was there, and there are some gems, and there are some trash. So I personally will probably give you a little bit of both, because I don't want you to just think that everything was great. I'll probably give you a few
Well, you know
gems,
there will be separate gems.
but I will endeavor to characterize the comments. I'm not going to give you all of the comments, because quite frankly, I don't think that would be productive, because those were personal inputs that were provided in confidence. And so, in some cases, you can actually determine who said that comment without knowing who the name is. And so I wouldn't release those. But I will weave those into the presentation, so you won't just get a bunch of statistics. I will hope to characterize what those inputs were. Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, what else? We have about 15 minutes. Are you going to let me freewheel? Oh,
Go for it, Jim.
you poor guys.
What else is on your list?
All right, well, what else is on my list? We talked about the call process, talked about Synod Assembly. Columbarium, obviously we've got a resolution that's going to be on the table at the annual meeting to establish the columbarium in the garden. I think that's a good thing. The committee, the task group has done a lot of good work. I am continuing to work that with them. We have two companies which we're kind of playing them off. And obviously we're playing them off to get the best price and the best product. So we're not just going with one company. We're going to play them off. One company is out of Minneapolis. Yeah, Minneapolis. And the other company is down in Florida. So geographically separated to boot. Two different kind of thought processes on that. But pricing-wise, the Florida company is coming in a little bit lower. But again, different products, different quality, different workmanship and things like that. So we're continuing to look at that. After a successful vote, hopefully next week, then we will enter into some more definitive contracts with these. We'll have to process our permitting with the city formally. We've done that informally, as I mentioned in the resolution. And so hopefully, by fall, we will have a columbarium in the Garden of the Saints. So that's moving forward. Summer worship schedule. Okay, this had been suggested by one of the congregation members to me, and I brought that up to council, I believe it was in May. We discussed it at the time as a council, and Pastor Freeborn was part of that discussion. We did not feel that it merited us going to some adjusted summer schedule. There has been increasing feedback that has been provided by the congregation at large, and we are reconsidering that at the council meeting on Tuesday. And if we do go to a summer schedule, which I assume that we probably will, again, I put a lot of this on Pastor Freeborn, because Pastor Freeborn is in charge of worship. I'm not in charge of worship. Council shouldn't be in charge of worship, but council can certainly inform pastoral staff as to what their thoughts would be on that. So we're going to discuss it again on Tuesday. When we discussed it in May, as a council, we kind of determined, and there was no vote, it was just kind of a discussion. We determined perhaps we didn't need to do that. Well, we will reconsider that on Tuesday. If we had a worship schedule, it would be in adjusted worship schedule, July and August, and Sunday school would precede worship. Sunday school probably 8:45, 9 o'clock, and worship at 10 o'clock. So that would be our adjusted summer schedule, and more to follow on that. And I appreciate the inputs of everybody. I, as much as you do, want to make sure that we keep Pastor Freeborn healthy, and that we, as a congregation, can continue to remain united. So if through compacting our two worship services helps us create a better congregational identity, I'm all for it. And that's how I would portray it at the council meeting.
I was approached by the Joy Fellowship. I understand that Tuesday Women's Bible Study feels this way, and quite a few others. So one of the interesting things here is that it's our more senior members who have been the groundswell, and their concern is kindly for me, but also for a sense of us. So if you have strong negative feelings about that, it would be good to know that, but it's sure leaning pretty clearly towards doing that for July and August.
I think at this time of transition, it might be favorable for the congregation to all meet together on rather than measure split.
Yeah, I can see that. I would agree. Okay, we're now on Facebook. Oh, I'm sorry, Kate, go ahead.
Well, as an informational thing, do you think maybe the council would like to put their minutes in our monthly bulletin? Because as you can see, everybody's not here that's interested in what the church is doing and what's going on. And that might be the information put out there.
They're always posted.
Yeah, they're always posted. They're always
I know they're posted, but I can't stand in a hall and read something.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
I can't look at a computer screen and read
Yeah,
the
or
papers.
putting them on, are they online?
No,
Yeah.
they're not.
Yeah, I think if someone is interested in reading the minutes, they can stand in the hallway and read the minutes. If they're, sometimes it's easy to say, well, it's too much trouble, but sometimes we talk about things that you don't want on the web and out for general broadcast. And, it's kind of like if you're committed to something, you're going to make an effort to find out what's going on.
Okay, this is the second time this has come to me. I will bring it to council on Tuesday, and we will discuss it and certainly consider it again.
I'm not talking about information. I'm not talking
Right.
about.
I think there are pros and cons. I would agree with what Rita has to say. I personally would not advocate putting it on the web. Again, there are discussions that we have, some of which involve contracts, some of which involve activities that we are planning in the community, which might predispose someone to have information that we would not wish them to have. I think that's very solid consideration that we need to think about. Putting them in the monthly.
It goes on the web.
What's that?
It
Yeah, the
goes on
monthly
the
goes
web.
on the
So
web.
does the weekly.
So, I guess what I would say is we will consider that. A way to get around that would be perhaps the church office distributed to those specifically who would like to have it in their hands. So, I'll consider it again.